Howdy there everybody and welcome to watch the random Saturday upload series. And this week on the random Saturday upload series, we are playing a game that is about me. The Luger. It was recommended to me on Steam front page today. It was a free game, it's like around an hour long. And I got interested and thought I might as well give it a go. I didn't really have a game planned for today, so it was really nice of Steam to recommend this to me. Also, why we are looking at the store page is because this is what the main menu looks for the game. So yeah, shall we just give it a go and see how it works. It looks like the Witness clone, based on the trailer. I didn't want to watch too much because it seemed to be like a puzzle heavy game. And the trailer maybe would have spoiled something, I don't know. It's kind of like a combination of my favorite games too. The two games I enjoy are FPS games and then puzzle games. I claim to be good at the puzzle games, so this is a good test for that. Yeah, this seems to be a combination of them. You play it from the first person perspective, and then at the same time I'm shooting facts out of my mouth. So it's kind of like FPS. Kind of. Is my memory this bad that this loading screen is taking so long? Can't really do anything else. Maybe it's frozen. Well, this is also a good time to make an announcement. The past Christmases, the videos that I have done, I have had like a tiny elf. It's not a plushie, it's like, I don't know what to call it. Kind of like a plushie in the background. I have made it drink alcohol in the background. Sometimes I made it hang itself on the wall. Basically, I have had fun with it. But for this Christmas, it has sadly passed away. So, can we have a silent moment for it? There we go. I actually couldn't find it, but I think it's better for views to have something sad. And I don't want to lie to you guys, so if I end up finding it, I will finish it off. So this wasn't a lie. I think I need to restart this. Okay, better luck this time. Click here to begin. If this doesn't work, then I'm screwed. Then I have no clue what I'm doing today. Is this a puzzle? Do I need to press a button? Guess we are just stuck here. It doesn't do anything. I tried to look at YouTube videos if this was actually a puzzle. Probably tricky puzzle to begin with, but no. Oh fuck. There goes the intro and everything. I'm just going to leave it in. Okay, change of plans. Since that didn't work and I don't have a backup game that I could play instead of it, that is like anyway meaningful to play it for an hour and just then end it there. I think we are just going to do a just chatting video instead of it. And I guess kind of go through the games I have played this year and maybe pick my top 5 for the moment. Does that sound nice? I think it's a nice replacement. The Game Awards are happening, I think it's not next week, but the week after it. So it's a good time to talk about the games I have played this year. Also, if you are wondering what this thing is that you are looking right now, it's rank 1. I was introduced to it by Glitch Trick, and it's basically a site where you can log the games you have played, well, the games you are playing. Then you can, when you have played them, you can track them to this section, give them a rating, and then people can look through and see what you have thought of them. And then the most useful thing about this site is that you can add games that are upcoming, or just games that you want to play, into a list, so you can keep track of them. Which is a problem, at least for me. There's so many like showcases and games that you see in them. Some of them look interesting and you are like, I want to give that one a go when it comes out, and then you completely forget about it. And then couple years onwards when it releases, you have no clue. So I think this is a nice place where you can just store them. Also, I have enjoyed this year, like playing games with good photo modes and taking pictures. But then, when you do that, you don't really have a place where you can share the pictures. So I have been just throwing them here, where they can be stored. So it's a nice place for that as well. I honestly really like this site. And I have put, especially this year, a lot of effort into these, like, they are not reviews, I don't think, they are like my thoughts on the games. Like, I have put a decent amount of thought. Especially into the games that I like. So that if you follow my content, you get an idea of my gaming days. And if you like the type of games that I play, then you can go back here and have a browse if there's something that would interest you. And overall just see my thoughts on some of the games. I think it's a nice feature. But yeah, I guess we can go back to the games I have played this year and talk a little about them. The previous, like, top 5 that I have done for each year, I think the only requirement has been that the games have come out that year. Yeah. Meaning, these are all the games that I have completed this year, so most of them won't qualify for this. Like, Xenoblade Chronicles is easily the best game I have played this year, but it doesn't make the list because it came out like 5 years ago or something like that. But I can still talk through these and then go back to the top 5 and see what I would actually put there. So I guess I can start from the worst game on this list, which is a game about digging a hole. I was actually quite excited for this game back when it released. It looked like it had like a cute humor and then interesting gameplay, and I actually recorded my full playthrough of it. But in all honesty, I really didn't vibe with this game. The stuff that I try to put on my channel, I try to make it like positive content. I don't want to be too negative. Like, there is enough negativity online already. Usually, if you want to see negative content, you can find it. Yeah. So that was basically the reason why I never uploaded it. I just didn't have a good time playing it. You basically, at the beginning of the game, buy a house, and on that house's backyard you have a big cross over the grass. And then there, I think, was a note that there is a treasure buried below there. And then you have a shovel and you can go digging. And when you dig, you like dig up stones and other valuable mineral stones, and you can sell them and then buy better digging equipment. And then eventually you get to the bottom of the hole where the treasure is. But basically the journey getting to the bottom is so boring. It's just basically digging. And the digging process, there's like nothing rewarding about it other than going down. And it gets boring quite quickly. Like, the best way that I could summarize it is that if you go play Minecraft and you go chop a tree for a couple of hours, and at the end of that you get a block of tree that you can then use to craft something. Honestly, the ending of that game wasn't even that rewarding. I'm being generous to that, so yeah. It was a fun, like, digging mechanic. It had fun exploring or other mechanics complementing it, but yeah, I didn't enjoy that game at all. Then next up on the list is the Mirror Light, which is easier to explain if I explain to the moon first, which is kind of like a 2D top-down walking simulator. It's very story heavy. It barely has any gameplay in it, but the story that is in it is really good. Basically tells about two people that work for a company that offers a service for people on their deathbed to experience something that they didn't get to experience in their lives. Or I guess you could also revisit some memories. And I don't want to go too much into spoilers. I was thinking about explaining it more, but I think it's better left there. Just know this, it's a really, really good story. I really enjoyed the narrative, I really enjoyed the writing. It was like 4 to 5 hours long, I think, if even that. I played it over a couple of nights, and I just remember when I started it, had to go to sleep, and the next day that I woke up, only thing I could think about was that game, and I was just excited waiting that next night before I go to sleep I get to play more and see what happens. It was a really cool game. I just don't want to talk more about it because I feel like telling anything more would be a spoiler. But yeah, after I beat it, I went to immediately watch, like, it's fairly old game, I think. And I just went to see the developer on Steam and to see what other games they had made. There were, I think, 2 sequels after that game, and then there were a couple older games, I think, which one of them was the Mirror Light, and it was described as a short experimental puzzle story game, if that's a good description. It was weird. It was like you were inside a house. It wasn't really that you needed to solve puzzles, you just needed to do stuff in correct order to progress the story. The story is a stretch. I don't think there's much of a story in it. You just needed to complete stuff in order to progress the game. And then when you get the stuff done, there is an ending that was really confusing. The story of that thing is confusing. Experimental is a perfect way to explain it. I can't really describe it any better. It was like, when I bought it, I think it was on sale. And it was like less than €1, I think. For that money, it was a fun thing to experience and kind of get another look at the devs' minds who made this game. But if you said to me that it had a sequel, which is exactly it, it's just basically more of it, I would say I'm probably good. I don't know if I enjoyed it that much. So yeah, I didn't rate it that highly. It was a fun experimental thing, I don't know how to better describe it. Then Hurtling, which came to Game Pass not long ago, and when it came out I was kind of interested in it, and I checked out it wasn't that long, so I decided to play it over a weekend. I didn't enjoy it a lot, let's put it that way. There was some fun to be had there, but I was quite frustrated with the controls. They weren't explained that well in the beginning. I basically played the game incorrectly and noticed that I was doing stuff incorrectly near the end, and at that point I already had a bad taste about the controls in my mouth. So I think there's probably a good game in there. Because of the problems I had with it, I just didn't enjoy it that much. And the narrative was very forgettable for me. And also the herd, you are basically controlling a herd through like varied landscapes to get to a goal that I won't spoil, if it's even a spoiler. The herd, you don't really get a connection between the, I don't know what you would call these creatures, goats, sheep. I think there could have been like a bigger emphasis on like connecting with them, doing stuff with them. There were bits of it, but not enough that I actually cared for them. There was one really cool twist in the story that I appreciated, but that was basically one of the only positives I had about it. I enjoyed the art style a lot. And also the fact that my experience was also that it kept crashing a lot, which probably has been already fixed. It was like I played it a day after launch or something like that. But yeah, not that enjoyable game for me. I don't think it was waste of my time to play through it, but I guess if you gave me the choice to play something similar now, I would probably decline. But now we get to talk about something a bit more positive. Those were basically the 3 games that I had mixed opinions, let's put it like that, that I played this year. The rest of these, enjoyed them all. Big. I played it with Glitch, Q and Justin, and just had super fun time. I'm honestly sad that we didn't play more of it, especially now that it has gotten like more updates and more biomes. It's such a smart game. It basically combines a couple of elements in other games that were popular basically, could you call it, like in this generation of games. Like you take the climbing of Breath of the Wild, which was surprisingly fun in that game, like trying to navigate hills and mountains to like get higher and see if your stamina is enough, and maybe you can be smart with your movement. Maybe there's a edge on the mountain that you can just get with your stamina and then use that to get to a cliff or something like that. I really enjoyed that challenge, and it was nice change of pace from like just combat, I guess, and running around and exploring. Gave like a different challenge, and then you take that and add the fun of like co-op to it, and platforming as well. There is a lot of climbing, but also a lot of platforming in this. And this game is not made by Landfall Studios, but it's published by them, and you can see how they have also like influenced it. There's like a lot of fun co-op features and overall goofiness that is clearly inspired by the Landfall games, and what made them special that is added here, and it just makes a fun co-op game. And a challenging one as well. It's not easy at all. It looks easy, but it's not. And it also stands out a lot amongst like other co-op multiplayer games, which are basically either survival or like shooting. I'm really happy that it was as popular as it was. Then there is Dear Me I Was, which is basically more a movie than a game, I guess. There is a bit of gameplay in it, but you are basically just watching cutscenes. Like a very, let's use the experimental word, but a very experimental title for the Switch. The best way I can describe it and how good it was that near the end of the game I was like out loud playing it on my own, and I went like, fuck me, that can't be serious. For fun of the twist in the game. It basically tells a story of one woman's life from start to the end. Is that spoilery? No, don't think. I'm not expanding upon it more. But yeah, I think when I talk about these games, I put some footage of them, and you get a pretty cool idea what that is based on the footage. I don't think my explanation of it is doing it probably justice, so just know that it was a really cool like narrative. It had a really cool art style. It was like 50 minutes long or something like that. So I fully recommend to give it a go if you have a chance, if you have a Switch. I think it's coming to Switch 1 as well later on. And overall, as I say in the thoughts that I wrote down for it, I'm just glad that games or experiences like that exist. It was a really cool thing. And then we have Eastward Octobia, which is a DLC expansion to Eastward, which is probably in my top 10 like favorite games of all time. I love that game. It's basically like a 2D top-down action adventure game. I think that's a good description. A huge emphasis on story. And a weird story. Weird and confusing one, but I really enjoyed the narrative in it. I enjoyed the characters in it. Fully recommend to give it a go. And then we have this expansion, which is nothing like the main game. It's basically Stardew Valley. If I remember correctly, you don't even have combat in this game. You're just basically farming, talking to citizens, and cooking them food, and progressing the story that way. And it also takes place in a parallel universe compared to the first game, which is I was hoping that it was the characters from the main game and then you kind of get to experience like a happy ending, but it didn't quite go that route. There are connections to the first game, I say that much. I think it took me like 20-25 hours to play through it. It costed like €7 or something like that, and there is like a full farming game in it. I don't think it compares to the best farming games, but especially when you have played Eastward and you get to like experience those characters again and play a fairly good farming game, it's such a good deal. It has some pacing issues, but for its price, I cannot complain. I had really good time with it. Then we talked about To the Moon. Next up is then Mario Kart World, which I am more positive on than I think other people online. It has some problems, especially like user experience problems. For example, like on the map it doesn't show your progress that you have done exploring it and doing the challenge and stuff like that. But I love the core gameplay. It feels so good to just drive in it, race up other people in it, or just explore the like open world, do challenges in it. I just enjoy it. And the soundtrack is so good. It makes the exploring so much more fun as well. I really enjoy playing it. My biggest problem with it is that I don't have friends that own it. So I can't really play it with anybody, so it has been me occasionally either doing some races or dropping into the open world and doing some challenges. So yeah, I'm currently just waiting for my friends to get Switch 2s and start playing with me. And after getting the Switch 2, one of the first games that I played through on it was Echoes of Wisdom, which I started playing it on Switch 1. I enjoyed it. It had some like performance issues, but at the time I didn't really mind it. I enjoyed the gameplay, but then other games came out. I went to play them and then never came back and gave this another go. And when I got my Switch 2, played a bit of Mario Kart World and then went back to the games that got like a graphical upgrade or frame rate update. Went to check this out and it felt so smooth to play that I just got hooked on it again. And then basically ended up playing like 15 hours and completing it. I think at the beginning when I played it on Switch 1 I said it's probably my favorite Zelda game, like after the first 5 hours, or it's on track becoming my favorite Zelda game. At the end of it, not quite. It has some few problems with, I think, the amount of like summonable stuff that you get in that game, and it's kind of breaking all the puzzles or making them easy. But then again, counterpoint to that is that you have so many options that you get to be creative with your solutions to those puzzles. Yeah, I just love it. And I hope they continue with it. It was a really fun Zelda game. I think the only bad thing about it was that the narrative wasn't that strong. But I think I didn't even take stars away from that because the gameplay was so good. Excellent game. If you ask me, would I rate it higher than Link's Awakening Remake? I don't know. That game was really good as well. And had excellent music. And also a strong narrative. So yeah, I think both of those games can stand side by side with their like own merits. Next up I have Professor Layton and the Curious Village. At the beginning of the year, I think it was announced that the newest Layton game was coming out this year. I already owned a couple of DS Layton games that I had bought, but I had bought them like a couple of years ago for the DS to play through them at some point. And let's just say I don't use the DS that much that they kind of like were collecting dust on my shelf waiting to be played because it wasn't the easiest of processes to dug up my DS and start playing them. But yeah, since they announced the newest game was coming out this year, I thought I would play through the whole series because it looks really interesting. I love puzzles. And I started with the first game. Loved it. It has like really fun puzzles. I was playing this on my smartphone, where I think the first 3 games are. And I think it fitted really well because you have like couple minute long, 5 minute long puzzles that you can complete, then you have some story. It's a really nice experience to play on your phone, especially when you don't have a lot of time to put into a game. You can just pick it up, play it a little, and put it down. And then the puzzles are accompanied by a really interesting story. I have tried the DS games that I have, and I feel like they had a stronger focus on the story. This was a little bit more focused on the puzzles, and most of the dialogue was like not voice acted, it was just text that you needed to read through, which was just a tiny bit of a letdown compared to the like newer games that I had tried. But it's nice to know that the series is at least going in that direction. And also the story in it was really good. It had a fun ending, and I like how they implemented the puzzles to the story. Like, the puzzles aren't immersion breaking, they make sense in the narrative. And yeah, after beating that game, immediately went on the App Store and bought the second game. And now that is something that I have been playing. And I'm also happy that they delayed the newest game out of this year, because I wasn't as fast with these that I thought, so now I have more time to play through them before the newest game releases. So that is nice, thank you. Then I finished Super Mario Wonder, I think at the beginning of the year. And I was just surprised how creative a 2D platformer can be. And just how much fun it can be. Not only they have like so much fun with the Wonder Flower mechanics, whatever that was called, but also like all of the animation in that game, the world, the enemies. It's just a joy to look at the level when you are running through it and what is going on in it. I think when I was writing my thoughts for it, I wrote down that in a dictionary, when you are finding an explanation for fun, it should be just linked to this game. And I think it's a perfect way to describe it. And then I have left the two biggest games that I played this year, Ni no Kuni 2 and Xenoblade Chronicles 1. If we start with Ni no Kuni 2, it's a weird game because I ended up liking the elements that I usually don't like in RPGs. Like, I was fully going into this game expecting like an excellent JRPG narrative, like a interesting world and pretty art style. All of those are there. The narrative is a little different what I expected from it, but in the end I actually end up really liking it. And it's a game that I like keep thinking about every day. And it has already been, I think, a couple of months since I played it, and I still think about it. I almost daily go on the eShop and check if the first game in the series is on sale. It was sale, I think, a month ago for 10 euros. And over the weekend, I watched that it was like on sale for that month's like 30th day. That I checked, that was Monday. And after going for my borrowings for a weekend, when I was coming back, I went to a shop, picked up a gift card from eShop, and then next day put the code in, got the money, I went to buy it and realized that the 30th day was actually Sunday. And the month had changed. And it was no longer on sale. And now, I think almost for a month I daily just check the eShop to see if it's already on sale. Like, I'm so eager to play more of it. And what I talked about ended up liking the elements of it that I usually don't like in RPGs. I love the combat. Usually, like, I play JRPGs for the story and the world and the like unique world design, different worlds that you get to explore. In this game, I love the combat. I love the other gameplay mechanics, like you have a city builder in this game, which is so smart. It's tied to almost everything else in the game, like you can upgrade your characters through buildings that you build in the city. You can upgrade is a wrong word, but I guess you can upgrade dungeons that they become a little bit easier to like get through them completely. There is also like a RTS mode, or what would you call it, where you control your army and you get to battle like in skirmishes, battle other nations or like bandits or something like that. You get to upgrade that army. I can't even on the spot remember all the cool things that you could upgrade in that town. And the coolest part of it was that to get the upgrades you needed to assign people to those buildings. And to get people you needed to do side quests. almost every side quest in that game rewards your character that you can like, that you get to your city, and then you get to assign them to buildings. And those side quests, they kind of give the characters backstory. So you get to know them, there's a personal connection to them. For example, there's a younger character who wants to be like his dad, I think it was, and be like a great smith. And they need like a fresh place to showcase their abilities. And then you get to assign them in your town to a smith. It feels very personal to know their stories. And some of their stories also continue in your city. When you assign them, they give you another quest that connects to their backstory. And it's just such an addicting gameplay loop. I adore it. I haven't done it yet, but I will like complete my city, that I have all the possible citizens that I can get. If you want better like collected thoughts on it, I wrote a long review on it in the review that. And then Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I have played this series in such a weird order. When I got my Switch originally, I bought Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on it. And absolutely loved that game. It's probably because the sci-fi world that you are thrown into these games, it's so unique compared to anything else, at least what I have experienced in media. And I just fell in love with it. Fell in love with the world, the characters, especially the music. The combat is pretty fun too. Loved the second game. After that I played 3. Enjoyed that as well. Then played 2 like story DLC. It's basically... Is a prequel correct word? Like a flashback to the main game. And after that I finally ended up buying this game and giving it a go. And before that, when I saw like people discussing the games online, they always said this game, it has the best story in the whole series. And I was like, I don't know if that can be true. I love Two's narrative so much, like I don't know if anything can top that. And when I started playing this, I didn't quite vibe with its combat. It's definitely its weakest part. The narrative starts strong, but then nothing interesting really happens for the first 10 hours, at least for me. I wasn't that into the characters at that point. And I was thinking about like, how do people like this game? Is it just like a relic of its time? That it was great back then, and then games have just evolved when I go back to it, I'm not just enjoying it. But there's a moment in a story around like 10-15 hours where the game just kicks in full throttle, and after that I couldn't stop playing it. The narrative in it is amazing and so well thought out, and in the end if you ask me which I like more, Chronicles 1 or Chronicles 2, I cannot decide. Probably 2, because I didn't enjoy the combat in this at all. But then again, I love the narrative. Everything else, other than the combat, is chef's kiss. So good. And one of the things that I wasn't also vibing in the beginning was its music. Like, this series is how it's used in cutscenes to like generate hype and like adrenaline rush when there is a fight scene that is starting. And I wasn't at the beginning vibing with this one, but when you got to like more epic fight scenes, you started to notice the music more. And now that I have beaten it, if you ask me what of the games has the best music, I couldn't decide. I ended up falling in love with it too. If you just want to experience like big storytelling, play this series right now. That's my recommendation. But yeah, if we go back to doing the best games of 25, we do that list now. What games would I actually put here? Because like I said, most of these didn't come out this year. Would I put Mario Kart World in here? Did I enjoy it that much? Nope. I have a bunch of games that I have put a lot of time into it, but I haven't actually finished them yet. That I already rate very highly and would like to put on this list. And first of them is Donkey Kong Bonanza. I don't even know where to start with this game. It's so creative with the digging mechanic and 3D platforming, and I'm surprised how much the story feels like a Pixar movie compared to like Mario Odyssey. The story was, at least for me, it was just something that was there. I enjoyed more the locations and the gameplay, the 2D, 3D platforming. In DK Bonanza, I actually enjoyed the story a lot. I especially enjoy like the bad guys in it. I'm kind of a sucker for them. They're a cool bunch. And yeah, the gameplay is just on steroids, how creative it is with all of the destruction. And like, just how much stuff you have to do, and like, I don't know how to describe it. If you, for example, take Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, you are drawn to the map. You look around and you see in the distance like interesting things that you want to go to and do. In this game, when you are thrown into this game, you can see interesting things in the distance, but then also, if you have walls around you, you have a floor below you, you can dig down it. There's probably something below you, there's probably something in the walls. Like, you almost get overwhelmed by like stuff that you can do and you should do. And then the digging mechanics, the 3D platforming, all of them feel so good to control. And the challenges that the game offers are fun to solve and just a joy to play through. So yeah. It deserves a spot on this list. Then there's another game that I haven't finished. I have put like 60 hours into it already. And apparently I'm like halfway through or something like that. Which makes me a little depressed. I would have already completed it, but I heard that it's connected to the other games in that series, so I stopped playing it and went back to play the first game. So after beating the first game, I could go back to the third game and beat its DLC, which is connected to Xenoblade Chronicles X, which came out this year, or a definitive edition of it came out with this year with added content, story content, which apparently connects it to the other games. Maybe, possibly. And this is also a weird game, because when people were talking about it online, they always said that the narrative isn't as good as in the main series. This game is more about exploring the open world of this game. It's more about the exploration and how you can like move in the world. And at one point you get to control this mecha and fly around in the world, and it kind of like opens up more exploration options, and people were just praising the world's design, the exploration. And when I played it, I was fully like in the mindset that focus on the exploration, it's going to be fun, and then the narrative is what it is. I usually, if a game doesn't have a strong narrative, I have a hard time playing it. But because I love this series, I was just like, enjoy the exploration. For if you had to force your way through the game to see the like other story stuff that they added. But I actually ended up enjoying the story a lot. Like, the characters don't have the depth or the progression that the characters in the main series have. But the overall narrative I have really like. There are some cool bad guys. I always enjoy like not rooting for the bad guys, but I enjoy, especially if you have like comical, like Koga-like from Breath of the Wild, Koga-like enemies. I enjoy seeing their story and going against them. This has that going on with it. And the exploration is fun. I don't think some people were saying that the open world in this is better in this than Breath of the Wild's open world. I strongly disagree with that. But for a JRPG, the open world is really fun to explore. And I'm just excited to get back to it, and I would say finally complete it, but it's going to take so much time. I can't even talk about that yet. Then another game that I would like to add here that I have also not finished yet. I don't know how deep into it I'm yet, but more I play it, the more it keeps surprising me, and that is Blueprints. which by the way is available on Game Pass as well, which I'm playing it on. And it's basically like a... how would I describe it? It's like a roguelike game, but the roguelike elements are that you have a house that has shifting rooms. Like when you walk to a door and open a door, it gives you option of 3 rooms that you can place there. And basically all the rooms have like mysteries or puzzles or other things that help you progress through what I could maybe call a maze. And you basically need to build far enough that you reach one specific room. And I assume that's where the game's end is. But it's not easy to get there, and I think that room has like locked doors. And if you want to open those locked doors to get there, you need to complete puzzles in the rooms that you are creating to get there. I'm doing a bad job explaining it, but it's such a creative concept. And the game has so much depth and so much surprises in it that I again just love it. I love mysteries that I can solve, so it makes my list. Then we can add a game that I recently played on my channel. That is Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. I think I am close to 10 hours into this game. And like I told in the video that I made of it, I love the first game, Age of Calamity. And this is that game, but again on steroids. It feels so good to play on the Switch too. How smooth the gameplay is. How good everything looks. Compared to where Age of Calamity was, the frame rate was sometimes a little bit laggy. And the resolution also took a hit sometimes when there was a lot going on. Yeah, this game just rights those wrongs and tells its own story, which is basically like the backstory to Tears of the Kingdom. And yeah, I don't have much to say about it yet. I have much more to say about it when I beat it. But yeah, just enjoying it at the moment. I don't think there's any other games I would put over it to here. And when I'm looking at this list, it's very Nintendo heavy. It probably tells a lot about me, what games I play. But let's put a little and add South of Midnight to the list. Again, I haven't completed this game. I think I'm close-ish to the end. Like, at least easily over the halfway mark of the game. And I just kind of fell off it at some point. And then it's been really hard to get back to it, because it doesn't have the simplest of controls. You like need some time to get used to the controls again when you pick it up. And I haven't just had the mood to do that and complete it. But yeah, I just enjoy everything in that game, I guess. Like, its biggest part is its gameplay, which is fun, but it's not the most complex, and at the point where I am, it's starting to get like a little repetitive, but I still enjoy it. But everything else I just love in that game. The art style, it's kind of like stop motion. The art style, it's stop motion, it looks brilliant, the game sounds amazing. The soundtrack like just throws me into the like environment like I was there. Just immerses me into the game. The movement is really fun when you get to explore the levels or progress the levels. I don't think there's much exploring, but it's fun. The story seems really interesting. It has had like little mini stories so far of some of the characters in the world, and I have really enjoyed them. There has been some dark stories. Somebody, what was it? Somebody trapped their brother in a tree in a forest and just left them there. That's fucking dark. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about it, but I have really enjoyed it so far, and I'm excited to beat it. My goal is to beat these 3 games at least before the end of the year. So if you are interested to see my thoughts on them, I will be writing them down here once I beat them. I think one game that people might be surprised to not see here, considering how much every single person on this planet is praising it at the moment, is Expedition 33, which I have played past its half point, but I kind of had like a hate-love relationship with it, and in the end I just decided I'm not enjoying it enough to put more time into it and just quit it. I can see how good of a game it is, and if it ends up winning Game of the Year, I'm happy for it, and I can recognize that it deserves that, but I just wasn't vibing with it. One of my favorite things was that when it came out, I recommended it to my friend, and they immediately played through it and said it was one of the best RPGs they had played in a long time, one of the best games they had played in a long time. I was like, you need to play through it, that we can talk about the story. And from the beginning, I just wasn't vibing with the gameplay, like I'm terrible with timings, so all of the dodges I didn't really enjoy and struggled with, especially when they introduced the final big dodge at the middle of the game. It's not even explained that well, the timing where you need to press those buttons when it's the time to use it. I struggled with that so much, and it's basically what drove me to the breaking point with that game. But yeah, I played it for a couple of months, and then I said to my friend I don't think I'm going to finish it, I'm not enjoying it enough. And they looked at me straight to eyes and were like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. It's a shame that I didn't enjoy it. But yeah, that's my story with that game. And then I also played Silksong this year. I'm just bad at it. I was enjoying my time with it, but I spent a lot of time fighting some of the first bosses in that game, and I thought when I beat them, oh, I'm so good. And then when I watched Sorilla play that game, and she basically beat them first try, when it took me probably more than 10 tries, I was like, no shot I'm playing more of this game, it's going to take me ages to play through it. Even if the early bosses take me so much time, so I just quit it. I might get back to it over the Christmas holidays. But yeah. That is the top 5 for me for this year. And for December, I don't see it changing much. I think I see myself putting this game if I really enjoy it there. But other than that, I'm quite locked in with that list. If I enjoy Outlaws, I think it will throw South of Midnight out of the list. I think that's enough yapping for today. I don't know how enjoyable this video was to watch. Apologies again that I didn't have a proper game to play, but I was just unlucky that I don't even remember the game's name anymore. That didn't run. If you are interested to scroll through this, I put a lot of effort to this profile and the stuff that I write here. So I appreciate it if you give it a look. I guess this is a good time to ask, what were your favorite games of this year so far? It doesn't need to be a final opinion before the year is over. But what do you have enjoyed playing through this year? And did you find anything interesting here that we just went through? Yeah, that's all. I'm getting tired. I don't have any, my brain isn't working anymore. My brain was ready to just play that game and be goofy, but now I needed to be serious and talk about this. It was quite a switch for what it was expecting. So yeah, I'm just going to wrap it here. I don't have anything left in my brains to process and say. I just need to go sleep. So yeah, I thank you for watching. Hopefully if you made it this far, it was worth your time. Give me a feedback, if anything, what could I do better? Because all of this is all about learning, I guess. So yeah, I thank you for watching. Have a nice weekend, and hopefully I see you here next time. Goodbye!